Good morning, I'm Brother Jason, and this is the Baptist Catechism. Question 87 asks us, what is forbidden in the 10th commandment? Do not covet. What does that forbid? The 10th commandment forbids all murmuring over our own condition, and all envying or grieving at the good of our neighbor, and all inordinate affection for anything that is his. Do you ever struggle with grumbling? Things aren't good enough, and when they are good, you wish they were different. Sunny day, you wish would rain. Rainy day, you wish would be sunny. Hot, cold, etc., etc. We find ourselves grumbling and murmuring over our condition all the time. We wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, my aching back," and we envy those who are healthy. Covetousness is never going to help. Covetousness needs to be gotten rid of, and we need to have some contentment. The 10th commandment forbids all murmuring of our own condition and envying and grieving over the good of our neighbor. We should rejoice with our neighbor. We should be happy for them. We should not envy them. Let's take a look at what the Bible has to say here. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 10 says, "Do not grumble, as some of them did, and were destroyed by the destroyer." We know the children of Israel in the wilderness began to grumble. They were grumbling over the manna. They were grumbling that they weren't in Egypt. They were grumbling over everything. And the Lord's response was to destroy them. He just removed them. Sometimes when grumbling gets to a certain point, it just needs to stop. And these people had been disobedient and rebellious long enough. It may be that the Lord would, because of our grumbling, just take us out of this life. Don't grumble. There is a consequence. They were destroyed by the destroyer. In fact, if you begin to grumble over your situation, what you'll see is not blessing resulting from that. You'll see a curse placed upon it. And what could be blessed will now be frustration. And so that may even cause some more grumbling. James chapter 5, verse 9 says, "Do not complain, brethren, against one another, so that you yourselves may not be judged. Behold, the judge is standing right at the door." Don't complain about somebody else's good or their position or what you want that they've got. Why? So you won't be judged. God is standing at the door. There is a judgment that comes on those who complain. There is a judgment that goes on those who do covet. So don't complain against one another. Talk to God. Don't murmur amongst others. God's blessing is on those who are content and those who do not covet and those who trust Him and those who find their wholeness in Him. But that removal of blessing is on those who like to complain and murmur and judge others. The judge is standing at the door. So this is why it's important. Galatians chapter 5, verse 25 tells us, "If we live by the Spirit, let us also walk by the Spirit. Let us not become boastful, challenging one another and envying one another." Envy is a problem that you're never going to be able to solve. It doesn't matter what everybody else has. Can you be content with what you have? That's a hard thing. And that's why I feel like so many of us struggle with this. We're so used to complaining and grumbling and lack of contentment that we don't really understand what it means to don't covet. It's so second nature to us. And yet the Lord wants to remove that from us, our character, so that we can honor Him with it. One more verse here, Colossians 3, verse 5. "Therefore consider the members of your earthly body as dead to immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and greed, which amounts to idolatry." See, here's the core of the problem with all of these commandments. If you covet something that is not yours, then what you've done is made that thing your God. Your neighbor got a new boat, you want a new boat. That boat becomes your God. It is an idol that the Lord is trying to get rid of in your life. Anything that you set up as an idol in your life becomes a target for God to get rid of because it's opposed to Him. So there's many people, and us included, we've all been there. The Bible says such as were some of us. Our bodies were given over to immorality, to impurity, to passion, this lust for things, this evil desire for more and more and more, and greed for more things that we don't have. All of those things are under the umbrella of idolatry. We make another person an idol, a relationship an idol, more money, a better job, a better situation, something that somebody else has. We've made that an idol. Don't covet. Don't commit idolatry. Idolatry is something that God is strongly opposed to. What is forbidden in the 10th commandment? The 10th commandment forbids all murmuring over our own condition and all envying or grieving at the good of our neighbor and all inordinate affection for anything that is his.